Presented by Brothers Truck Parts. Here's HE&M Solves Project Hudson Hornet.
Today, Doug and I are going to be installing a brand new master cylinder on our Hudson, and it is right here on the frame rail, something that most people aren't familiar with, right?
No, they're really not, and it's the way they designed this Hudson. Once again, on the brake system here, when you go ahead and you push onto it on your brake pedal, and the reason it's down here is if this master cylinder was to fail, it'll act like a handbrake and it'll automatically cause the car to stop. It'll activate the rear brakes. And then when we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna break everything loose, it's real important to use a line wrench. If you use a standard wrench, you're more likely to round off a fitting. So make sure when you're doing that you're using a line wrench. You can see right here, it's got a slit into it, so you can go ahead and get all the way around the bolt and secure it well.
That's a good tip. You want to use the line wrench for sure anytime you're loosening or tightening the bolt, or fitting. And then you can use an open wrench to make it easier for you to go ahead and service that line.
And then also when you're going ahead and you're pulling your pins or anything onto it, use a set of dikes. The dikes work really, really well. When I'm going ahead and I'm pulling out my Carter pins, I'm able to go ahead and grab it and then just twist it and pull them right out.
I'm doing better with the sizes, aren't I?
Yeah.
No more trying to confuse you with the millimeter stuff.
I know.
Now, when you guys are replacing your fitting, transferring it over from the old one to the new master cylinder, this is loose. It's got to be lined up perfectly so your hard lines will go in. So when you put it together and it goes to tighten up, you have to make sure to tighten it up in a way where you can still work on your fittings and get everything attached correctly like it was before, okay? This will probably take some time because this needs to go up and these need to go up. Now we're ready to install our master cylinder. This fitting at the end, because two line fittings have to go in there, it's always easier to have it loose so that you guys can start your threads and not have the possibility of cross-threading the fittings, because then it's a new line. Installation is just like reverse of removal. All right, so like we said, it's very important. We took our plunger and we loosened the jam nut, giving us adjustability, making sure that we put this plunger and foot pedal in the exact same position as it was. There may be something different, like for instance, when you look at ours, we're gonna have to pull our plunger in a little bit, because if you don't, the brakes will stay hung up and they'll be, activated the whole time you're driving down the road. So this is the very crucial part. And then you want to bleed the brakes, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so it's very important that when we go to tighten these, that we use a line wrench. As you can see, I'm using a line wrench, and then notice right here, my sensor is going to be in a different location. There's nothing I can do about it, so the easiest way to fix it is to extend the wires for the light on the dash, and that's simple. We're going to rewire this car anyway, so we'll just make this leg a little bit longer.
We've got the generator here, we've got a new starter, and we have a new voltage regulator. This is new old stock, which is really cool. One of the things, this is a 6-volt battery, and for you people that may not happen to know, each one of these cells is for 2.1 volts. So we have 3 of them, and what that's going to do is give us a 6-volt battery. The next thing is, this is a sealed battery, but there are still batteries out there that are not sealed. And then you're going to have to go ahead and add distilled water into it. You're going to pop the top off, you're going to check the levels, but make sure it's distilled water and not tap water, because if you use tap water, it'll have minerals in there and it's going to interfere with the plates, and the battery itself will start to go bad on you. So it's real important on the distilled water. One of the things to be aware of is on this rebuilt starter, it's been rebushed. And what will happen with some of the older cars, you'll think you'll have a bad starter, and the problem is not the starter, the windings, it's in great shape, but the bushing goes bad. And when the bushing goes bad, it causes the pinion to cock at an angle, and it slows down the starter, which would give you appearance the starter's going bad. So always make sure you have a good bushing on the end.
And this is all going to be original to the vehicle, because Cantor took our starter and our generator and they rebuilt it. As you can see, it's got the original body. They went ahead and painted it. Everything on the inside, as far as he said, with bushings and everything, is new. So now we can attack the fuel system.
Absolutely.